Get ready to embark on a mouth-watering journey through the heart of New Orleans. Are you prepared to discover the top 10 dishes that make this city a food paradise? We've got a tantalizing countdown lined up for you, filled with lip-smacking delights that are sure to whet your appetite. This culinary adventure is not just informative, but a feast for the senses. But before we dive in, a quick reminder to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more delicious content like this. Starting our countdown at number 10, we have gumbo, a hearty soup that's a staple of Louisiana. Gumbo, the official state cuisine of Louisiana, is more than a dish. It's a rich tapestry of history and culture, a melting pot of influences from Africa, Spain, France, and Native America, much like New Orleans itself. Now, for the uninitiated, gumbo is a thick soup or stew served over rice. Its base is a dark and flavorful roux, a mix of flour and fat, cooked slowly until it reaches a deep brown. This gives gumbo its signature rich and savory flavor. But the real stars of the show are the ingredients added to this base, a delightful medley of meats or seafood, okra, and a healthy dose of spices. Each bowl of gumbo tells a different story. Some gumbos brim with sausage and chicken, others with succulent shrimp or crab. And then there's the vegetarian gumbo zerbes, a green gumbo traditionally served during Lent. Regardless of the recipe, the essence of gumbo lies in its ability to bring together diverse ingredients in a harmonious blend, a metaphor for the cultural gumbo that is New Orleans. While the origins of gumbo are as mixed as its ingredients, one thing everyone agrees on is its cultural significance to New Orleans. Gumbo is not just food. It's a celebration of diversity and unity, a symbol of resilience and creativity. A trip to New Orleans is never complete without a bowl of gumbo. At number 9, we have the iconic po' boy sandwich. Emerging from the vibrant heart of New Orleans, the po' boy is a culinary treasure steeped in rich history. Born during the streetcar strike of 1929, the po' boy was a hearty sandwich handed out free to the poor boys on strike. This generous act of solidarity birthed a sandwich that would become a symbol of the city's resilient spirit. The po' boy is a testament to the beauty of simplicity. It typically features a crusty French baguette generously stuffed with meat or fried seafood. But like New Orleans itself, the po' boy is a melting pot of flavors, reflecting the city's diverse cultural influences. The classic roast beef po' boy is a marvel of slow-cooked, juicy beef, often smothered in rich gravy. Seafood lovers, on the other hand, can delve into the crispy fried shrimp or oyster po' boys, each bite a celebration of the Gulf's bountiful harvest. The po' boy isn't just a sandwich, it's a canvas for culinary creativity. Variations abound, from the surf and turf po' boy that combines roast beef and fried shrimp to the vegetarian-friendly French fry po' boy dressed with gravy and cheese. The po' boy's humble origins, its delectable combinations, and its adaptability have cemented its status as a beloved street food in New Orleans. Whether it's shrimp, oyster, or roast beef, there's a po' boy for every palate. Coming in at number 8, we have the delectable crawfish étouffée. Now, if you're not familiar with this dish, allow me to paint a picture for you. Imagine fresh crawfish plucked straight from the bayou and simmered to perfection in a roux-based sauce. This sauce, my friends, is a delightful mix of butter, flour, and a holy trinity of vegetables, onions, bell peppers, and celery, which form the backbone of many a Louisiana dish. Now, the magic of crawfish étouffée lies in its slow and steady cooking process. This is not a dish you rush. No, it's one that you lovingly stir and simmer until those flavors meld into each other, creating a dish that is so much more than the sum of its parts. And let's talk about those flavors, shall we? Each bite of crawfish étouffée is like a symphony, with the tender, sweet crawfish playing the lead role. The vegetables add a depth of flavor, while the roux, lends a richness that's hard to describe. It's creamy, it's savory, it's absolutely divine. Served over a bed of fluffy white rice, crawfish étouffée is comfort food at its finest. It's rich, it's hearty, and it's packed full of flavor. This dish is a true testament to New Orleans' expertise in seafood. Sweet tooth? At number 7, we present beignets, New Orleans' famous dessert. Picture a warm, pillowy cloud of dough, deep fried till golden brown, and generously dusted with snowy powdered sugar. That's a beignet, a dessert that hails from France but has found a loving home in the heart of New Orleans. The French origins of beignets trace back to the Middle Ages, where they were known as beignet, meaning bump. These delightful treats were brought over to Louisiana by French colonists in the 18th century and have since become a staple in New Orleans cuisine, particularly in the city's French Quarter. Making beignets is an art in itself, starting with a simple dough that's cut into squares and then deep fried. The result? A light and airy interior encased in a crispy golden exterior. But the real magic happens when these fresh from the fryer treats get a generous dusting of powdered sugar, transforming them into sweet melt-in-your-mouth morsels. These sugary delights play a prominent role in New Orleans cuisine, often served alongside a steaming cup of café au lait. They're not just for dessert either. In New Orleans, beignets are a breakfast tradition, often enjoyed in the early morning hours as the city comes to life. Whether you're ending a hearty Creole dinner or starting your day, the beignet is a quintessential New Orleans experience you wouldn't want to miss. This sugary delight is a perfect way to end a meal or start your day. At number 6, we have the muffaletta, a sandwich that's as fun to eat as it is to say. This delightfully unique sandwich has its roots firmly planted in Italy, but it's found a second home in the vibrant city of New Orleans. The muffaletta is a testament to the creative culinary fusion that New Orleans is famous for. It all starts with a round loaf of Sicilian sesame bread, robust and crusty. Inside, there's a delightful amalgamation of Italian cured meats. Think salami, mortadella, and capicola. Add in a layer of provolone cheese, and you're already halfway to Flavor Town. But the real star of the show, the ingredient that sets the muffaletta apart, is the olive salad. A tangy blend of olives, pickled vegetables, garlic, and oregano. It's an explosion of flavor that adds a surprising depth to the sandwich. And where to find the best muffaletta in New Orleans, you might ask? While opinions may vary, a popular choice is Central Grocery on Decatur Street. This Italian-American grocery store claims to be the birthplace of the muffaletta, and their version of the sandwich is often hailed as the gold standard. One bite of a muffaletta and you'll understand why it's a New Orleans classic. It's a sandwich that's both familiar and exotic, a culinary adventure between two slices of bread. So next time you're in the Big Easy, make sure to grab a muffaletta and savor the taste of tradition. Cracking the top 5 is jambalaya, a dish that's a symphony of flavors. A hearty concoction that truly embodies the multicultural essence of New Orleans, jambalaya is a vibrant medley of Spanish and French influences. Let's delve into the origins of this tantalizing dish. Think of jambalaya as the love child of the Spanish classic, paella, and the French dish, jambalaya. When Spanish settlers first arrived in New Orleans, they attempted to recreate their beloved paella using local ingredients, leading to the birth of jambalaya. Now let's talk ingredients. The heart of jambalaya is the holy trinity of New Orleans cooking: bell peppers, onions, and celery. Throw in some smoked sausage, chicken, or seafood, and you've got yourself a mouth-watering base. Toss in a handful of rice and let it soak up the flavors of the broth, meat, and vegetables. And there you have it, a pot of jambalaya ready to be devoured. In the food scene of New Orleans, jambalaya is more than just a dish. It's a celebration of the city's rich cultural tapestry served up in a pot. It's found at every local gathering, from Mardi Gras parties to backyard cookouts, and each cook brings their own spin to this versatile dish. Jambalaya is a dish that truly represents the melting pot of cultures in New Orleans. It's a flavorful journey through the city's history, one delicious bite at a time. At number 4, we present red beans and rice, a simple dish with a big flavor. Let's dive into the rich history of this beloved New Orleans staple. The origins of red beans and rice trace back to the early 18th century when the city was a bustling trade hub. The dish was typically prepared on Mondays using leftover pork bones from Sunday's dinner to season the beans. Today, it continues the tradition, with many restaurants in the city serving it as a special on Mondays. So what makes red beans and rice so special? It's the embodiment of New Orleans itself, diverse, vibrant, and steeped in tradition. The dish represents a blend of cultures, drawing from French, Spanish, African, and Caribbean influences. It's more than just a meal. It's a symbol of the city's rich history and cultural melting pot. And let's not forget about the flavor. This dish is a symphony of textures and tastes, from the creamy red beans to the fluffy rice, all brought together with smoky andouille sausage and aromatic spices. It's hearty, comforting, and satisfying, the epitome of soul food. But red beans and rice is more than a dish. It's a comfort food for many in New Orleans. It's a warm, welcoming bowl of home, a nostalgic reminder of family gatherings, and a testament to the city's resilience and spirit. This dish proves that sometimes simplicity is indeed the ultimate sophistication. Securing the third spot, we have the luxurious oysters Rockefeller. This dish is a classic symbol of New Orleans culinary opulence, named after John D. Rockefeller, one of the richest Americans in history, for its rich, buttery sauce. It was first created in the early 20th century by Jules Alciatore of the legendary Antoine's restaurant, when a shortage of escargot necessitated a bit of culinary improvisation. The result? A dish that has since become a staple in the New Orleans food scene. Let's delve into its preparation. Freshly shucked oysters are nestled in their half shells and topped with a decadent mixture of finely chopped greens, typically parsley, celery, and scallions, along with breadcrumbs, butter, and a splash of anise-flavored liqueur. This lush topping is generously heaped onto each oyster before they're baked to perfection, creating a delightful contrast of the briny oysters with the savory herbal topping. The exact recipe is a closely guarded secret of Antoine's, and chefs around the city have their own interpretations, but the essence remains the same: the fusion of fresh seafood with rich, flavorful ingredients that exemplify New Orleans' culinary tradition. And why is it so sought after? Well, it's a dish that epitomizes luxury, indulgence, and the quintessential flavors of New Orleans. Each bite offers a taste of the sea, enhanced by the richness of the topping and the warmth of the baking process. For oyster lovers, this dish is the epitome of indulgence. Just missing out on the top spot at number 2, we have the soulful shrimp and grits. Originating from the heart of the southern United States, shrimp and grits is a dish that's steeped in tradition, culture, and of course, mouth-watering flavor. This classic dish is a testament to the culinary marriage between land and sea, a combination that's as old as time. The heart of this dish lies in its simplicity. The grits, made from ground corn, are cooked to a creamy perfection, while the shrimp, fresh from the Gulf, are sautéed with a mix of spices that turn up the heat, yet allow the delicate, sweet flavor of the shrimp to shine through. The final touch? A hearty ladle of buttery gravy to bring all the elements together. But shrimp and grits is more than just a sum of its parts. It's a dish that tells a story of the South, of warm kitchens and family gatherings, of hours spent fishing on sunlit waters, and of the rich cultural tapestry that is New Orleans. It's no wonder then that this dish has become a favorite among both locals and tourists. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, shrimp and grits has found its place on the tables and in the hearts of those who have had the pleasure of tasting it. Shrimp and grits is not just a dish, it's a beloved tradition. And finally, at number 1, the star of the show, the crawfish boil. Nothing encapsulates the spirit of New Orleans quite like a crawfish boil. More than just a meal, it's a social event, a gathering of friends and family around a steaming pot of crustacean delight. Picture a tablecloth spread out over a long table covered with heaps of boiled crawfish, corn on the cob, and red potatoes. The aroma is intoxicating, the vibe joyous. The crawfish boil is a culinary tradition steeped in the heart of New Orleans culture. Its roots are intertwined with the city's history, tracing back to the time when Native Americans and early settlers cooked their catch in large pots with whatever vegetables were available. Over time, the recipe has evolved, but the essence remains the same. Fresh crawfish simmered to perfection in a spicy blend of seasonings. Why is the crawfish boil the ultimate New Orleans food experience? It's the camaraderie, the communal peeling and eating, the laughter and stories exchanged over the table. It's the blend of flavors, the succulent crawfish, the spicy kick, the sweet corn, the hearty potatoes. It's the anticipation as the pot is tipped and the steaming feast spills onto the table. It's an experience that transcends the act of eating. It's about community, tradition, and a love for good food. The crawfish boil isn't just a dish, It's a celebration of New Orleans' vibrant food culture. And there you have it, the top 10 dishes that make New Orleans a food lover's paradise. We've sampled the hearty gumbo, indulged in the legendary po' boy, savored the spicy crawfish etouffee, and let's not forget the sweet, fluffy beignets. Then we got a taste of the iconic muffaletta, experienced the bold flavors of jambalaya, enjoyed the humble yet delicious red beans and rice, before moving on to the luxurious oysters Rockefeller. Our taste buds were further delighted with the shrimp and grits, and finally, we feasted on the grand spectacle that is the crawfish boil. Each dish, a story of New Orleans' rich cultural tapestry, each bite, a celebration of its vibrant culinary scene. Now we're curious to know about your favorite dish or your experiences with New Orleans cuisine. Thanks for joining us on this culinary journey. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this video with your fellow foodies, and subscribe for more food adventures. Until next time, happy eating.